Good morning, guys. So today we're gonna talk about like the final project. So inside my group there will be Vanensha Shapali, Manusha Van Barry, CN Mohamed, and myself. So on the first slide, you can see the large infrastructure project in North America, six-lane bridge crossing between Windsor, Ottery, Detroit, and Michigan. Delivered through the P3 public-private partnership model, where the private coordinates contract assume the risk of the design. According to the bridge, longer capable state bridge, Canada point of entry exception, shortly maintenance in place. On the second slide, you can see like the initiation of planning phase. The facility emphasizes safe security flow of person and project over the US-Canada border of the business trader, provides seamless flow of good and service through the strategy route, ultimately increased through the US and Canada. So on the bottom, you can see the schema. Yeah. So that will be like the third slide.
Hi, this is Vaishnavi. Previously, she has already explained about the scoping of work, and here we can see here the contract of the values and how we can take the one project from the minimum month, 74 months, and we can take it here the estimation to actual the process and how the actual the time was taken and estimately we can how much the time was taken, and here the operating cost for every the salaries and operating costing and properties property costs, and here the capital the cost in these in the project cost was a minimum thing we can take the 2019 to 2020 is estimation, but it's taken to the estimation was 20 to 21. It can take the how the planning the designing and keep the delivery to the outlines, which will be take it the minimum to maximum how it's going to towards the 2018 to 2024. The project was started and we can design it and construct it the town on and the uh, how we can start at these phases is take it the minimum year to every phase of this projects, and we can take the every programming planning, and we can in financial thoughts we can take it the programming planning and coming up payments and government bonding issues, and everything we can take it in these phases of the contract values. Can you please change the slide? The slide would, yeah, I can't see the PPT. Here the we can see the stockholders. We can see here three phases like a government and local and other. And in the government, we can see these every project of this we can take into while the access to the trading of US to Canada. We can see the government of the everybody entered the giving the result of this project, which will be going towards the help to. The peoples, and in these the local we can see the private sectors and government officers, which was initially integrate the part of these stockholders. The basis on this, and we can, and here the other stockholders will be taken from the which they include the peoples we both are taking the government to the local. We are seeing these carriers of actual the project was in the based on the relocate the peoples which will be used which will be there include the needing of relocating, or the project was taken from these government or the local stockholders. Next, Manusha will be continue.
Hi all. Can you pause the video? Yeah, hi all. This is Manjusha. So on this slide, we're gonna talk about navigation operational risk, such as those involving the governments of United States and Canada. Effectively timing and executing a project, depending on navigating the complexities arising from stakeholders. This statement clearly defines the importance of addressing these elements to ensure the successful planning and implementation of a project. Moving on to point number three, if there are issues or defects in materials, machineries, or other project elements, Project Co is responsible for managing and addressing the associated risk as opposed to another party represented by the WDBA. Project Co will be responsible for any extra overrun expenses incurred. Moving on to point number five, the project assumes fully responsibility for covering all the financial expenses and addressing many potential risks that may arise due to geotechnical conditions. At last, risk associated with environment and social considerations suggest that there are potential dangers or uncertainties connected to factors related to the environment and social aspects. This could include various challenges such as environment degradation and social unrest. Can you move on to next slide? Yeah, on this slide, we're going to talk about risk management insights. Delays and overruns are experienced in predictive planning due to governance oversight. Moving to point number two, managing issues related to governments and engagement and aligning stakeholder expectations. Planning for sustainable designs involving the formulation of policies and practices aimed at reducing energy consumption while also recognizing achievements in energy reduction efforts. Moving on to point number four, registering and tracking reviews and risk are crucial activities in project management, requiring regular updates for sponsors to stay informed. Government's alignment is essential for controlling the impact of scope, creep, and managing changes effectively. At last, monitoring compliance with regulation significantly impacts the design plans, legal counsel to ensure adherence. On the right hand side picture, we can see the risk tracking template, description of risk and their impacts, risk response, and risk levels. Uh, the next slide will be continued by my friend.
Can you go to the previous slide, please? Yeah. So I'm going to be talking about the risk management contribution. So the first one is the schedule layers below. A risk register should be maintained with prioritized risk evaluated through impact and likelihood. Example like TOPS risk. So the schedule delays due to construction challenges like supply chain issues or events like COVID-19. High impact and likelihood. The mitigation also includes predictive planning and oversight. The second point is the cost overruns putting budgetary pressure. And that we could talk about the pressure, the high impact, the moderate likelihood, control through governance, alignment on changes. The community opposition and concern requiring design or plan changes. Moderate impact like likelihood, managed through stakeholder engagement and benefit plan. The scope creep and requirement changes, like a low moderate impact, moderate likelihood, governance framework to review and align on changes. The environmental regulation changes, the low moderate impact, low likelihood, keep abreast of regulatory changes. Maintaining our risk register allows proactive tracking and mitigation of top project risk. So reviewing with sponsors and updating regularly is recommended. The next slide will be taken over by my friend.
Hello, my name is Osman, and I'll be taking over from here. So, communication events. Here we can see the planned communication events arranged for a smooth completion of the project. This communication events helps in keeping stakeholder and public updated with the project growth and also to make strategic plan on going project section or the upcoming ones. Communication events also help in tackling critical issues related to project when they are required. You can move to the next slide, please. Here are some communication samples. In the first picture, you can see some communication events held and the frequency of how when they were held. In the second picture, we can see the communication responsibilities. Third picture shows us the schedule, and the last picture refers to the stakeholder requirements. Moving on to the next slide. Was it a success? Driven by strong hold of governance and risk management, the Gordie-Howe Bridge will be successfully completed on time before November 2024. Budgeting process was detailed with continuous reforecast of both capital and operating cost. Planning process involved multiple stakeholders, and WDBA managed to bring together the Governor of Michigan and the Governor of Ontario while keeping all aspects of the project in rolling communication model. Applied real principles of project management as seen by the original project agreement dated in September 2018. ESG consideration that shows the project monumental impact, not only on two countries' economic well-being, but also environmental, social, and governance. Completed majority of architectural building, example Michigan Interstate Ram, which is already open for the traffic. Overall, the project was a great success due to affirmation of high-level key points. I would like to close the presentation by saying it's a success, and I would like to thank our professor to give us another opportunity to present this assignment. And the next slides will having all the references that we used for our knowledge to make this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.